There comes a moment in every life when a dream is born quietly in the heart. It does not arrive with loud applause or the approval of the world. It comes like a small flame, gentle but powerful, carrying hope, purpose, and the promise of something greater. Yet the moment that dream begins to grow, voices often begin to rise around you. Some speak with doubt, some with fear, and others with criticism. They question your ability, your direction, and sometimes even your worth. These voices can be loud, persistent, and discouraging, and if you are not careful, they can begin to drown out the very dream that was placed inside you. But every dream that carries meaning must be protected. Dreams are fragile in their early stages, like seeds planted deep within the soil. A seed cannot grow if it is constantly dug up, questioned, or exposed to storms before its roots become strong. In the same way, the dreams in your heart need quiet faith, patience, and courage to grow. When you allow every negative voice to shape your thinking, the power of your vision begins to fade. Doubt slowly replaces belief, and fear begins to take the place of hope. The truth is that not everyone will understand the purpose that lives inside you. Not everyone will see what you see or feel what you feel when you think about the future you want to build. Some people speak from their own fears. Some people speak from their own fears. Others speak from their limitations. They may not intend to harm you, but their words can still become barriers if you allow them to settle in your mind. That is why protecting your dreams is not simply an act of confidence. It is an act of wisdom. There is strength in learning to guard your heart and mind from the constant noise of negativity. When you protect your dreams, you create space for belief to grow stronger than doubt. You allow hope to rise higher than fear. You begin to understand that your journey is not meant to be directed by every opinion around you, but by the quiet conviction within you. Great dreams are never built on the approval of the crowd. They are built on faith, perseverance, and the courage to keep moving forward even when others question your path. The world may speak loudly, but your purpose must speak louder within your soul. And when you learn to protect that purpose, when you choose to guard your dream from the voices that try to weaken it, you begin to step into a life that is not controlled by fear, but guided by belief. Every person who has ever accomplished something meaningful has faced the same challenge. They heard the doubts, they faced the criticism, and they encountered people who believed their dream was impossible. But they made a choice. They chose not to allow those voices to define their future. They chose to protect the vision that had been placed inside them. Tonight, the message is simple yet powerful. Your dream is valuable, your vision matters, and the responsibility to protect it belongs to you. The voices around you may rise, but they do not have the authority to silence what has been planted in your heart. When you learn to guard your dream with faith, courage, and determination, you discover that the power within you is far greater than the noise around you. There comes a time in life when a vision begins to rise inside you, something deeper than a simple wish and stronger than a passing thought. It is a picture of what your life could become if you choose courage over comfort and purpose over fear. That vision may come quietly, maybe in a moment of reflection, or in a season when life pushes you to think beyond your present circumstances. But the moment that vision begins to grow, the world around you often begins to question it. People will look at your goals and measure them against what they believe is possible. They will weigh your dreams against their own experiences, their fears, and their limitations. Some will speak with doubt, telling you that the path is too difficult or that success belongs only to certain kinds of people. Others will criticize your choices, asking why you would chase something uncertain when you could stay safe where you are. These voices can be loud and persistent, and if you are not careful, they can start to echo inside your own mind. Guarding your vision means refusing to let those voices rewrite the story of your future. A vision is powerful, but it is also vulnerable in its early stages. When a builder begins constructing a strong building, the foundation is protected before the structure rises high. Without protection in the beginning, the entire structure can weaken before it even has the chance to stand tall. Your vision works the same way. It needs protection while it is still growing roots in your mind and heart. The truth is that doubt is one of the most common obstacles on the road to purpose. Sometimes that doubt comes from outside voices, and sometimes it rises from within. There will be days when progress feels slow, and the path ahead seems uncertain. In those moments, criticism from others can feel heavier than it should. That is why guarding your vision requires discipline in the way you think. You must train your mind to stay focused on possibility instead of fear. Criticism is not always loud or aggressive. Sometimes it comes in the form of small comments that slowly chip away at your confidence. Someone might laugh at your idea or question whether you have the ability to succeed. Another person may compare your dream to the failures of others and suggest that you will face the same outcome. If you allow those comments to settle in your heart, they can become barriers that limit how far you are willing to go. Guarding your vision means understanding that not every opinion deserves space in your mind. People often speak from the limits of what they have experienced. If they have never seen something accomplished, they may believe it cannot be done. But history is filled with examples of individuals who stepped beyond the limits of what others believed was possible. Those individuals did not succeed because the world believed in them. They succeeded because they believed in their vision long enough to prove it real. One of the strongest ways to guard your vision is through focus. When you are focused on growth, improvement, and discipline, the noise around you begins to lose its power. Instead of spending your energy defending your dream to everyone who questions it, you spend that energy building the skills, habits, and mindset required to achieve it. Action becomes your response to doubt. Progress becomes your answer to criticism. Another powerful form of protection is silence. Not every dream needs to be shared with the world while it is still developing. Some visions grow stronger when they are nurtured privately. When you move quietly and work consistently, you remove the pressure of constant judgment. You give yourself the space to learn, to improve, and to strengthen your belief without interruption. Silence does not mean hiding your ambition. It means allowing your results to speak when the time is right. Faith in your own path becomes the shield that protects your vision from doubt. That faith is not blind optimism. It is built through effort, preparation, and the decision to keep moving forward even when the journey feels difficult. Each step you take strengthens the foundation of your vision. Each challenge you overcome proves that your potential is greater than the criticism surrounding you. There will always be people who question your direction. Some will do it openly, while others will simply watch and wait for you to fail. But their expectations do not determine your outcome. Your future is shaped by your commitment, your discipline, and your refusal to surrender your belief in what is possible. When you guard your vision, you take ownership of your journey. Over time, something powerful begins to happen. The same vision that once felt fragile starts to grow stronger. The work you put in begins to produce results. The skills you develop begin to open new opportunities. And slowly, the voices that once doubted you begin to fade into the background. Not because they suddenly understand your path, but because your progress becomes impossible to ignore. Guarding your vision is not about proving people wrong. It is about staying loyal to the purpose that has been placed inside you. It is about understanding that every meaningful accomplishment begins as an idea that only a few people can see. When you protect that idea with discipline, courage, and focus, it begins to transform into something real. Life will always bring moments when doubt tries to creep into your thinking and criticism tries to shake your confidence. But the strength of your vision grows every time you choose belief over fear and determination over hesitation. And as you continue moving forward with quiet focus and steady effort, you begin to realize that the greatest power you possess is the ability to protect the dream inside you, long enough for it to rise beyond the noise of doubt and stand strong in the reality you worked so hard to create. And the journey continues forward with the understanding that the vision you guarded with courage will keep unfolding into something greater with every step you take toward the future you once imagined in silence. There comes a point in life when you realize the world is never going to be quiet. Everywhere you turn, there are opinions, doubts, warnings, and criticisms waiting to test your courage. People speak about what cannot be done far more often than they speak about what can be achieved. They talk about limits, about risks, about failure, about why something will not work. That noise surrounds every person who dares to dream. And if you are not careful, It can slowly begin to shape the way you see yourself and the future you are trying to build. Choosing belief over the noise of negativity is one of the most powerful decisions a person can make. Belief is not simply a positive thought or a hopeful wish. Belief is a commitment. It is the decision to trust the vision inside your heart, even when the world around you cannot see it yet. It is waking up in the morning with determination in your spirit and refusing to allow the doubts of others to become the limits of your own life. Negativity is loud because it feeds on fear. People often speak negatively not because they know the future, but because they are afraid of it. They look at your dream through the lens of their own past disappointments. They measure your possibilities by the limits they have already accepted in their own lives. When someone says something cannot be done, they are often revealing more about their own fears than about your potential. If you allow those voices to settle in your mind, they begin to weaken the strength of your vision. Doubt does not usually arrive like a storm. It creeps in quietly, one small thought at a time. Maybe you hear someone laugh at your goal. Maybe someone questions whether you have the talent or the resources to succeed. Those comments may seem small at first, but if you replay them in your mind again and again, they begin to grow into barriers that hold you back. Choosing belief means protecting your mind from becoming a home for those doubts. Your mind is one of the most powerful tools you possess. What you allow to live in your thoughts eventually shapes your actions. If your mind is filled with negativity, you will hesitate, second-guess yourself, and slowly lose the courage to move forward. But when your mind is filled with belief, you begin to move differently. Your steps become stronger, your focus becomes sharper, and your energy begins to push you toward growth instead of fear. Belief also requires discipline. It is easy to believe when everything is going well, when progress is visible and encouragement is plentiful. The real test comes when the journey becomes difficult, and the voices around you begin to question whether the effort is worth it. In those moments, belief becomes a choice you must make again and again. It is the decision to keep working when the results have not appeared yet. It is the courage to keep walking even when the path ahead is not fully clear. Silence becomes a powerful ally in this process. You do not have to answer every critic or explain your dream to everyone who questions it. Sometimes the strongest response to negativity is quiet determination. When you stay focused on your work instead of reacting to every opinion, you protect your energy and your vision. Let people talk if they choose to talk. Let them doubt if they choose to doubt. Your responsibility is not to convince them. Your responsibility is to grow. Another important part of choosing belief is understanding that setbacks are not proof of failure. Every meaningful journey includes moments of struggle. There will be obstacles, mistakes, and days when progress feels slower than you hoped. Negative voices often use those moments as evidence that you should give up. But belief sees those moments differently. Belief understands that challenges are part of the process that shapes strength and wisdom. When you continue to believe during difficult seasons, you develop a resilience that negativity cannot break. Each time you overcome a challenge, your confidence grows deeper. Each step forward becomes a reminder that progress is possible, even when others expect you to quit. Over time, your belief begins to create momentum, and that momentum carries you further than fear ever could. The world will always have noise. There will always be critics, doubters, and voices that try to tell you what you cannot achieve. But your life cannot be directed by the loudest voices around you. It must be guided by the quiet conviction inside you that says you were created for more than settling for limitations. When you choose belief over negativity, something powerful begins to happen. You stop measuring your potential by the expectations of others. You begin to measure it by your willingness to grow, to learn, and to keep moving forward, no matter how long the journey takes. That mindset changes everything, because it turns every challenge into an opportunity and every criticism into motivation. And as you continue walking forward with that belief burning inside you, the noise around you slowly begins to lose its power, because the person who chooses belief does not waste energy arguing with doubt, but invests that energy into discipline, growth, and action. And over time, the same voices that once filled the air with negativity begin to fade into the background, while the results of your persistence rise to the surface, proving that belief carried you further than fear ever could, and the journey keeps unfolding step by step as your confidence stronger, and your vision moves closer to the reality you once protected in silence. There are moments in life when you decide to step beyond what is familiar and chase something greater than your current circumstances. The moment you begin to move in that direction, questions start appearing from every corner. People begin to wonder whether you truly have what it takes. Some speak their doubts openly, others show it through their expressions, and some quietly wait to see whether you will fail. That is the moment when confidence is not something you are given by others. It becomes something you must build within yourself. Confidence is often misunderstood. Many people believe confidence comes after success, after recognition, after the world begins to applaud your achievements. But the truth is far more powerful than that. Real confidence is built before the applause, before the victory, and often in the middle of uncertainty. It grows during the seasons when people question your decisions, and when your results are still invisible to everyone except you. When others question you, it can feel uncomfortable. Human beings naturally want acceptance and approval. We want people to believe in our abilities and support the direction we choose to take. But if your confidence depends on the approval of others, it will always remain fragile. The moment someone doubts you, your strength begins to shake. Building confidence means learning to stand firm even when the support you hoped for is not there. The first step in building confidence during those moments is understanding that doubt from others is not unusual. Every person who has ever attempted something meaningful has faced questions from the people around them. When someone tries to break away from ordinary expectations, it challenges the way others think about their own lives. Your ambition reminds them of risks they afraid to take. Because of that, their doubts often reflect their own fears rather than your true potential. Instead of allowing those questions to weaken your spirit, you can allow them to sharpen your determination. Every time someone questions your ability, you have a choice. You can let their words create hesitation, or you can let their words push you to work harder. Confidence is built through action. When you continue to show up, continue to learn, and continue to improve despite the doubts surrounding you, something powerful begins to grow inside you. That growth does not happen overnight. Confidence develops through discipline, through the small promises you keep to yourself every day. When you set a goal and follow through with consistent effort, you prove to yourself that you are capable of progress. Every early morning of focused work, every challenge you face without quitting, every skill you take the time to develop becomes another brick in the foundation of your confidence. Another important part of this journey is learning the strength of quiet focus. Not every question requires an answer. Not every doubt deserves a reaction. Sometimes the strongest response is silence combined with steady effort. When people question you, they are often expecting explanations or arguments. But when you choose to invest your energy into growth instead of debate, you protect your focus and strengthen your belief in what you are building. Confidence also grows when you stop measuring yourself by the pace of others. People will compare your progress to someone who started earlier, someone with more resources, or someone who appears to be moving faster. Those comparisons can easily lead to discouragement if you allow them to shape your thinking. True confidence understands that every journey moves at its own pace. Your path is not meant to look exactly like anyone else's story. There will be days when the questions around you feel heavy. There will be moments when progress seems slow, and the voices of doubt grow louder. During those times, it becomes important to remember why you started. Your purpose must become stronger than your fear of criticism. When you reconnect with the reason behind your effort, your determination gains new strength. Over time. Something remarkable begins to happen. The same people who once questioned your direction begin to notice the consistency of your effort. They see that you have not stopped working, not stopped learning, not stopped believing. Your confidence begins to show in the way you carry yourself, in the discipline of your actions, and in the progress you quietly create. Confidence built in this way becomes unshakable because it is not based on temporary praise. It is based on experience, perseverance, and the understanding that you have faced doubt before and continued moving forward anyway. That kind of confidence cannot be taken away by criticism, because it was forged in the very moments when criticism surrounded you. Life will always include people who question your choices and your abilities, but their questions do not define your limits. Your limits are defined only by the decisions you make and the effort you are willing to invest in your growth. When you build confidence while others question you, you develop a strength that prepares you for greater challenges and greater victories ahead. And as the days continue to unfold, you begin to realize that the doubts that once seemed so loud were never strong enough to stop a person who refused to quit, because confidence built through discipline and perseverance keeps rising step by step, while the questions of others slowly fade into the background and the journey continues forward with steady determination as the belief you built within yours. Elf becomes the quiet power guiding every step you take toward the life you once imagined while the world was still asking whether you could achieve it. There comes a moment in life when you realize the world has a lot to say about how you should live. Eccentric, what you should chase, and who you should become. Advice comes from everywhere. Family members, friends, strangers, social media, and people who have never walked a single step in your shoes. Everyone seems to carry an opinion about your choices, your dreams, and your direction. If you listen to every voice that surrounds you, the most important voice of all begins to fade into the background. And that voice is the one living inside you. Every person carries an inner voice. It is the quiet guide that speaks through your instincts, your passions, and your deepest convictions. It is the part of you that recognizes what truly matters in your life. But the problem is that this voice does not shout. It does not compete with the loud noise of criticism, comparison, and expectation coming from the outside world. It speaks quietly, and if you want to hear it clearly, you must learn how to silence the noise around you. Outside opinions often come wrapped in confidence, even when they are built on uncertainty. People will tell you what they believe is right based on their experiences, their fears, and their understanding of the world. Sometimes their advice is helpful, but sometimes it becomes a distraction that pulls you away from the path that was meant for you. When too many voices begin to influence your thinking, confusion replaces clarity and hesitation replaces courage. Silencing outside opinions does not mean disrespecting others or ignoring wisdom. It means learning how to filter what deserves your attention and what does not. Not every opinion is valuable. Not every suggestion deserves space in your mind. Some voices are simply echoes of fear, repeating the same limitations that have held people back for years. If you allow those echoes to guide your decisions, you may find yourself living a life shaped by the doubts of others rather than the purpose within you. Your inner voice becomes stronger when you create space for it. That space often comes through reflection, discipline, and moments of quiet where you step away from the constant noise of the world. When you remove the pressure of outside expectations, you begin to understand what truly matters to you. You start to recognize the direction that brings meaning to your life, instead of simply trying to satisfy the approval of others. Many people spend years chasing paths that were never meant for them. They follow advice that sounded convincing but never felt right in their hearts. They make decisions based on what others expect, rather than what their inner voice quietly urges them to pursue. Over time, this leads to frustration, because deep down they know they have been ignoring the part of themselves that understands their true purpose. Listening to your inner voice requires courage. The moment you begin to follow it, you may find that not everyone agrees with your choices. Some people will question your direction. Others may believe you are making a mistake. But the truth is that no one else can fully understand the calling that lives inside you. They do not see the same vision you see. They do not feel the same pull in their spirit that you feel when you imagine the life you want to create. Silencing outside opinions allows you to build a deeper connection with your own belief. Instead of constantly seeking approval, you begin to trust your own judgment. That trust grows each time you make a decision based on your convictions rather than the pressure surrounding you. With every step you take in alignment with your inner voice, your confidence becomes stronger. This kind of confidence is different from the confidence that depends on applause or recognition. It is a quiet strength that comes from knowing you are living with purpose. When challenges appear, and they will appear, your inner voice becomes the reminder of why you started. It keeps you moving forward even when the path feels uncertain. Silencing the noise around you also protects your focus. The world moves quickly, and distractions are everywhere. Opinions shift, trends change, and expectations evolve constantly. If you chase every outside voice, you will spend your life running in different directions without ever building something meaningful. But when you listen to your inner voice, your energy becomes concentrated, your decisions become clearer, your effort becomes more powerful. Because it is guided by purpose rather than confusion. Great journeys are rarely understood by everyone at the beginning. The people who create meaningful change in their lives often start by trusting a voice that only they can hear. They step forward while others hesitate. They continue walking while others question their choices. Over time, their actions begin to reveal the wisdom of the path they chose. Life will always bring opinions, advice, and criticism. Those voices will never disappear completely. But you have the power to decide which voices shape your direction and which voices fade into the distance. When you learn to silence the opinions that distract you, the voice within becomes clearer and stronger. And as you begin to walk with that clarity guiding your steps, you realize that the quiet voice inside you was never weak. It was simply waiting for the moment when you would choose to listen. And the more you trust it, the more confidently you move forward, building a life that reflects your true purpose while the noise of outside opinions slowly fades behind you, and the journey continues with steady determination because the path shaped by your inner voice leads you closer and closer to the life you were meant to live. While the world watches the results of a decision that began in silence, but was guided by unwavering belief, there will be moments in life when you decide to chase something meaningful, something bigger than comfort, something that stretches your abilities and challenges your limits. The moment you step onto that path, the world begins to test your focus. Discouragement appears in many forms. Sometimes it comes through criticism from others, sometimes through unexpected obstacles, and sometimes through the quiet voice of doubt that tries to rise inside your own mind. Staying focused during those moments becomes one of the most powerful skills you can develop. The truth is, the world often celebrates success after it appears, but it questions determination while it is still growing. When you are in the early stages of building your goals, not everyone will understand the effort you are putting in. Some people will tell you the road is too difficult. Others will suggest that your dreams are unrealistic. They may not even realize the effect their words can have. But discouragement has a way of spreading quickly when you allow it to settle in your thoughts. Focus is the shield that protects your vision from that negativity. Focus means keeping your eyes on the direction you have chosen even when distractions attempt to pull you away. It is the ability to remember why you started when the journey becomes challenging. Every great accomplishment begins with a person who refused to let discouragement control their actions. One of the most important things to understand is that discouragement often grows louder when you are moving towards something valuable. When you attempt to change your life, you step outside the expectations that people have placed around you. That makes some individuals uncomfortable. They may question your decisions because they cannot imagine themselves taking the same risk. Their doubts are not always meant to harm you, but if you absorb those doubts, they can weaken your determination. Staying focused requires discipline in the way you manage your attention. Your energy is limited, and every moment you spend arguing with negativity or defending your vision is energy taken away from building your future. Instead of reacting to every discouraging voice, you can choose to invest that energy into growth. Study your craft, strengthen your skills, continue working quietly while others talk. There will also be moments when discouragement does not come from people but from circumstances. Plans may not unfold as quickly as you hoped. Progress may feel slow. You may encounter failures that challenge your confidence. These moments are part of the process of building something meaningful. Every obstacle carries a lesson, and every lesson strengthens the foundation of your determination. When you remain focused during difficult seasons, you develop resilience. Resilience is the ability to rise again after disappointment. It is the strength that keeps you moving forward even when the path becomes uncertain. People who lose focus during these moments often step away from their dreams, before they have the chance to see the results of their effort. But those who stay committed discover that persistence has the power to transform challenges into stepping stones. Another important part of staying focused is protecting your mindset. The thoughts you allow to live in your mind shape the way you approach each day. If you constantly replay discouraging words or negative outcomes in your thinking, your motivation begins to fade. But when you choose to concentrate, on growth, learning, and possibility, your focus becomes stronger. Surrounding yourself with the right influences can also make a difference. Some people speak life into your vision. They remind you of your potential when you begin to question yourself. Others may not believe in what you are doing, and that is something you must accept without allowing it to control your direction. The key is understanding that your belief cannot depend entirely on the approval of others. Silence can become a powerful ally in maintaining focus. Not every plan needs to be shared with the world while it is still developing. When you move quietly, you remove the pressure of constant judgment and comparison. Your attention remains on the work that matters rather than on the opinions that surround you. Over time, something powerful begins to happen. The same world that once tried to discourage you starts to notice the consistency of your effort. Your focus becomes visible through your discipline. People begin to see the progress that was once hidden behind your quiet determination. But by the time recognition arrives, you have already developed the mindset that allowed you to continue when no one was watching. Staying focused, when the world tries to discourage you, is not about ignoring reality or pretending challenges do not exist. It is about choosing your response to those challenges. It is about deciding that your dreams deserve persistence, your purpose deserves discipline, and your effort deserves the chance to grow into something meaningful. And as you continue walking forward with your attention fixed on the path ahead, the noise of discouragement slowly begins to lose its power. Because a focused mind does not stop to argue with every doubt that appears. It keeps building, keeps learning, and keeps moving step by step toward the vision that once existed only in your imagination while the world was busy questioning whether you would ever reach it. And the journey keeps unfolding with strength and determination as your focus carries you further than the bay. Discouragement that once tried to stand in your way. In the end, life becomes a reflection of what you choose to believe and what you choose to protect. Dreams are never destroyed only by failure. Most of the time, they fade away because people allow doubt, criticism, and negativity to slowly take control of their thinking. When you learn to guard your vision, silence the noise around you, and trust the quiet strength within your heart, you begin to walk a different path from the crowd. A path guided by purpose instead of fear. The world may question you. People may doubt you. Circumstances may test your patience and your courage. But none of those things have the power to stop a person who remains focused, disciplined, and committed to their dream. Every step you take with belief builds strength. Every challenge you face with determination shapes the person you are becoming. Remember that the loudest voices are not always the most important ones. The most powerful voice is the one inside you that refuses to give up, refuses to settle, and refuses to stop moving forward. Protect that voice. Trust that voice. Follow it with courage. Because the person who keeps believing, keeps working, and keeps rising above the noise will one day stand in the reality of a dream that was once protected in silence but built with unstoppable faith.